First, let me introduce you to my websites. My class will function mainly from my Facebook page. Send me a friend request. And if you don't do Facebook, go to MessianicJudaismNetwork.com. Follow the links to my Hebrew class. You'll find links to reference materials on my sites and some interesting Hebrew podcasts. If interested, you can learn more about the Hebrew roots of Christianity and learn more about Jesus and how all the first believers functioned in the first century. Before I get started, there's some basic vocabulary words you should understand, like Tanakh. It's the name for what Christians call the Old Testament. Now, is the Tanakh different than the Christian Old Testament? It's really not. The main difference is the order of the books. Jews do not consider Daniel a prophet, so his writings are in the writings section of the Tanakh, along with Psalms and Proverbs. The three divisions of the Tanakh are Torah, Novi'im, the prophets, Ketuvim, the writings. Jumping ahead a little bit, notice the im endings on two of the words. The im endings make the words plural. In English, you add an S to make a word plural. And in Hebrew, often, but not always, you add im. Another word is nechud, which are dots and lines placed in, below, and above Hebrew words to help pronounce the Hebrew words. I'm not going to go through all of them yet, but for example, we're going to look at the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It is called the Aleph. Alone, there's no sound when you see it, but when you add the Patach symbol, which is a horizontal line underneath the Aleph, you add the Ah sound at the beginning of the word, like Abba, which is found in the New Testament. And Abba means daddy. Finally, you should understand what I mean when I say Brit Hadashah. It's the New Testament. It literally means covenant new in Hebrew, because the adjective in Hebrew normally follows the noun. Another example, if you wanted to say red apple, in Hebrew it would actually be apple red. Hebrew is a Semitic language dating back to its earliest form to 1400 BC. Its alphabet is 22 letters and they form the skeleton of each word. And as I said before, the points or marks below the words are the vowels that make it possible to pronounce the words. They're called nechud. In Israel, you often don't see the vowels because once you become proficient in Hebrew, you really don't need them. Now let's start with a Hebrew letter called the Shin, spelled S-H-I-N. It looks similar to the English letter W. Here's one on a dreidel. And a dreidel is used in a game that's played during Hanukkah. This is a Shin seen on a mezuzah, which are scriptures placed on doorposts, as we're commanded to do in Deuteronomy. The Shin is found in the common name of Jesus, Yeshua.
Yeshua din Nazareth. Yeshua.
You can probably understand how it's pronounced by this word, with the nechud or dot placed on the right side of the Shin of Yeshua. The Shin makes the sh sound.
Yeshua min Nazareth.
At the end of this podcast, take a few minutes and practice writing the Shin on a piece of paper. I don't want to give you guys too much during the first lesson, so we're going to review the main points, and then you can practice writing the Shin. First, what's the Hebrew name for the Old Testament? Tanakh. Second, what's the Hebrew name for the New Testament? Brit Hadashah. Third, what are nichud? The dots and lines that aid in pronouncing vowels in Hebrew letters. What's the ending you often use in Hebrew to make the words plural? Im. What's the common name for Jesus? Yeshua. What is a patach? It's one of the nichud that makes the ah sound. Finally, what sound does the shin make with the dot on the right side? Shh. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Now practice writing your shin and join me again next time.